أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا الشمس كورت وإذا النجوم انكدرت وإذا الجبال سيرت وإذا العشار عطلت وإذا الوحوش حشرت وإذا البحار سجرت علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت صدق الله العلي العظيم. Lecture number 23 for the 10th class. And what is the reflex action? Some actions are taken place in our body without brain. Some actions takes place in our body without brain. Such actions are called as reflex action. So today my concern will be reflex action. I was talking about autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system. I will tell you before reflex action, I will tell you this terminology, somatic nervous system. Before telling you somatic nervous system, before telling reflex action, one question to you. Can you raise your hands by your wish? Can you walk by your wish? Can you speak by your wish? Yes, because that is the nervous system which is under your control. It means that some messages of the motor neurons are carrying the message towards the target, and they are carrying towards two type of the messages. One type of the messages which we can control, they are controlling voluntary actions, mean that are carrying a system, a nervous system which is not under our control. That nervous system is called as autonomic nervous system, which is not under our control. The nervous system which is under our control, that is the somatic nervous system. Somatic nervous system is under our control, mean that we can blink our eyes sometime with our wish, we can speak with our wish, we can walk, we can use our skeletal muscles, the muscles with the bone, those muscles are called skeletal muscles. And you know, your forelimbs, you are moving up. When you was doing parade in college, what you was doing, your legs were moving, your hands are moving, and your all body motions were under controllable factors, mean those were conscious actions under the control of your body. Such actions which are under control of your body, such actions are called as voluntary actions. So somatic nervous system is the example of voluntary action. So it is very simple. If we go to, I will recall first of all these things, then I will go to the reflex action once again, because reflex action idea I have given you. So what is the result now? Result is that brain and spinal cord is called as CNS, means central nervous system, and they secrete two type of the nerves. The nerves arising from the brain are called cranial nerves, and the nerves arising from the spinal cord, those are called as spinal nerves. And cranial nerves, spinal nerves, they are scattered throughout the body, and that will constitute a system which is called as a peripheral nervous system. And then cranial nerves, definitely they are of two types. They may be sensory, they may be motor, because if they are moving towards the CNS, they are sensory, because sensory neuron carries the message from the receptor to the central nervous system. And if they are motor pathway, it means that the motor neurons carrying the message from the spinal cord and the brain to the effectors. And effectors are two things. I am telling again and again, the effectors are two things. One are the muscles, and other are glands. So dear students, the information which I just wanted to convey in their case, about the reflex action, I will explain. I was explaining the reflex action, and reflex action I will explain now by using this one. I will make something there and you will understand. Okay ji. Now you will just assess. This is the board. Okay, I will write something there, and I will try to explain the reflex action by using spinal cord, and you will see how the neurons are coming. I showed diagram. I will show the diagram again, but manually I am telling you now. So this is the spinal cord, visible. This is the spinal cord, and this is the receptor. Clear? Receptor, that is clear. And neuron is coming, and this first small fiber of the neuron, is called as, yes, this is dendron. This is the dendron. And then this one is called as axon. So this is dendron D, and this is axon A, and this is the cell body. So what is happening? The message is going from the receptor to the spinal cord, from the receptor to the spinal cord. This is the spinal cord, and spinal cord will receive the message from sensory neuron, and spinal cord will decide in this case, because I am teaching you reflex action. Reflex action is the action in which brain is not involved, and spinal cord will decide the decision. And you know the difference between sensory and the motor neuron. What is happening? The dendron, there are no dendrites, there is a dendron, one dendron, single fiber is present, which is carrying the message towards the cell body. The fiber which carries the message towards the cell body, that is called as dendron. The fiber which is carrying the message from the cell body towards the spinal cord, that is the axon. So two fibers are shown, axon, dendron, and they are entering into spinal cord. Now I will rub this and I will tell you what is happening in spinal cord. Okay, so I will make cross section of spinal cord. It is just like a butterfly shape. There are two matter, therefore I have to drive the two gaps. One is inside, this is the white matter, this is the gray matter, and this is the white matter. So this is the gray matter, this is the white matter, gray matter, this is the gray matter. Okay, I have to write here gray matter, this is the gray matter, and this is the white matter. So two matters are there, one is this matter, one is this one matter. So what does mean? What is the diagram of this? The diagram is explaining which structure? Cross section of spinal cord. You will be asking, sir, you made spinal cord like that. This was the spinal cord which is moving from the dorsal side, anterior side to the posterior side. Upper side of the body is called as anterior side, lower part of the body is called posterior side. So you will be thinking, sir, the spinal cord, anterior side and posterior side. So you was making a little different diagram just a moment before. I will tell you, I took cross section. I will take cross section. So which shape will be available? This shape will be available. Butterfly shape. And the gap, inside gap will be gray matter, and outside, this is the gray matter, and outside is the white matter. So one is the gray matter, one is the white matter. This is the gray matter, so cross section. Now I am going to tell you what will happen. In the white matter, the cell bodies are not present. This is the sensory neuron which is coming. With the sensory neuron coming, I told you sensory neuron when it was I told you in the last session that sensory neuron is using which pathway it will use? Dorsal pathway will use. Dorsal pathway I will explain. For example, if that is human, I will give you example. This is front portion, this is the front part of the boy. Front part is called ventral, the back part is called dorsal, upper part is called anterior, lower part is called posterior. Go back here once again. This is anterior, this is posterior, this front part ventral, the back part is the dorsal. So you understand the positions of dorsal, ventral, anterior, posterior positions in the human bodies. Now I am telling you spinal cord. Once again, the reflex action I am teaching you action in which brain is not involved, and brain is not involved, that is called the reflex action. And I will draw diagram once again. Okay ji, the diagram I am drawing once again, and you will see that the point which I just wanted to convey. Students, the point I just wanted to convey, look here. I will drop this one because that was not necessary, because that is lecture number 23. I am teaching you lecture number 23. Okay ji, we'll go back here. The point, cross section of spinal cord. What I wanted to show, I wanted to make two cell bodies. Which cell bodies present inside the spinal cord? Which two cell bodies are present in spinal cord? I told in the last lectures, cell body of the motor neuron, cell body of the interneuron. Who decide the message? Spinal cord decide the message, brain decide the message. Which neurons in the brain and the spinal cord decide the message? Interneurons decide the message. This is the sensory neuron is coming. This is the cell body of sensory neuron. This is the dendron. This is the axon. Axon is entering. This is the matter, white matter. So this axon passed through the white matter. It enters into the gray matter. Now this axon in the gray matter, gap come. The gap come, and this gap is called as synapse. When one neuron finish, another neuron start. That gap is called synapse, and synapse is present between the neurons, and the message is transmitted through the synapse by very difficult way, difficult concepts. In the second year I will tell you how the message is transmitted through the synapse. So message will go from receptor to the gray matter, then the gap will come, synapse will come, and then this neuron start. Which neuron? This neuron, which is inside the gray matter, and this is interneuron. This is integral part of the neuron, and this neuron, you know that this neuron is so important that if I will say this is a gray matter, now I will make gray matter only. Okay, reason is that because there is no space, so I will make gray matter only. So this is coming, that is coming dendron, that is cell body, that is coming axon. Axon is entering into white matter. White matter I did not show. Now this is the gray matter. Now gap comes, synapse come, then the dendrites come. Now you are very right, because many dendrites are there in the interneuron. Dendron is one only in sensory neuron. So dendrites come, then cell body come. This is cell body, and then the neuron come. So dendrites, cell body, and the axon. So this neuron is interneuron. This neuron is interneuron. This neuron is interneuron. So sensory neuron coming through the dorsal pathway, and they are giving dorsal pathway, they are giving message to interneuron. This is the interneuron. So interneuron is present in the gray matter. Interneuron is present in the gray matter. What is the interneuron? This is the many dendrites, then cell body, and then the neuron. It means this is the interneuron. It is present in the gray matter. Gray matter mean in the spinal cord. Any other structure in which interneuron is present, that is the brain. What is the importance of interneuron? Interneuron interpret the message. It decides the message. Brain and spinal cord decide the message. Here, this is reflex action. Brain is not involved. This interneuron will decide the message. This interneuron will give the right message, will decide that you must lift the hand if the hand is touching the object. Reason is that there is an emergency situation. Reflex action takes place in emergency situation. So dendrites, I am labeling again and again, cell body, and this is the axon. This is neuron structure. Name of neuron? Interneuron. Present where? In the brain, in the spinal cord. This is the part of spinal cord, gray matter. So it means interneuron present in CNS, means central nervous system, which is equal to brain and spinal cord. Okay, ji. Now there is the gap come once again. Gap, why the gap come? Why the gap come once again? Because there is a synapse, and synapse come. Reason is that because synapse will come, and synapse will come, and synapse of which neuron will come now? Synapse of the which this neuron is called as? This neuron is motor neuron. Now motor neuron is carrying message from interneuron and giving to motor neuron is giving the message to effectors. So effectors will come. So I will make once again, I will show you how the motor neuron will start. These are the dendrites of the interneuron. This is the cell body, this is the axon, this is the gap. These are the dendrites of the motor neuron. This is the cell body of motor neuron, and then the axon of the motor neuron. So it means this is the interneuron and this is the motor neuron. So motor neuron will carry the message to effectors. So what is the issue is here? That two cell bodies are present in the gray matter. One is the cell body which is belonging to interneuron. One is the cell body belonging to motor neuron. Interneuron decide the message, and motor neuron carry the message from the interneuron to the effectors. And effectors, actually these are the target sites where the muscles are present, where the glands are present, and all the changes in the body are directly being controlled by these muscles, because muscles will contract or relax and glands will secrete, and significant changes will take place according to decision of this one. Your muscles will contract and you will raise your hand if you are touching any hot object. So this interneuron will decide in reflex action. So what is reflex action? Spinal cord and receptor will give the message to spinal cord by sensory neuron. Which way? dorsal way from the back side. Spinal cord will give the message to motor neuron to effectors, and this arc is called reflex arc. This arc is called reflex arc, and effectors are muscles and glands. They will raise the hand, and brain is not involved. Inside spinal cord, interneuron will decide the message. Sensory neuron will carry the message from receptor to the spinal cord. Spinal cord, interneuron decides the message, interpret the message from the spinal cord. The motor neuron will carry the message to effectors. And what will happen next one? Inside the spinal cord, interneuron is present, and the most important thing, brain is not involved here. And another important thing is there, inside spinal cord, two cell bodies are present. One cell body of interneuron, and another cell body of the motor neuron. Where is the sensory neuron and antibody? Cell body of sensory neuron, that is outside the body. This is spinal cord. The cell body of the sensory neuron is outside. This is spinal cord. This is the sensory neuron, and sensory neuron has a cell body outside the spinal cord, not inside spinal cord. So only cell body which is outside the spinal cord, that is the sensory neuron. So somatic nervous system is that which is under your control. Autonomic nervous system is that which is not under your control. Autonomic nervous system is divided into two types: sympathetic system and the parasympathetic system. Sympathetic system, in which you become in emergency condition, you become red, your face become red, you got some little extra energy, your anger, your situation before interview, your situation during the match, you becomes little nervous, and similarly you're trembling sometime due to some fear. These all are sympathetic condition. When you are relaxed, that is called the parasympathetic nervous system. Reflex action takes place without brain. So I will come with lecture number 24 in the coming lecture number 24. I will discontinue these information, because I will tell you the functions of thalamus, hypothalamus once again, and I will show you diagram of reflex action, and I will explain somatic autonomic nervous system once again.